Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is beat the like button like it owes you money before watching this, so it reaches a wider audience. And now on with the memes. Number 1 here is Naples, Florida, 1970 versus 2026. What went wrong? Looks like Cheetos. They ate a lot of them and it looks like the same people 56 years apart. Also looks like only boomers can afford to retire at the beach these days, and that's that. But I'm calling BS on this picture on the right because I don't see a single smartphone or Big Gulp in their hands. Plus more of them would be slim thanks to Zempic. But I did see tons of people like on the right in a gated community back in February while I was snowbirding in Florida. Up next, it sucks to be a crypto bull right now, or even for the last 5 years outside of Bitcoin, because every single asset has been making new highs except for crypto. Here are live candle prices up over 500% since 2022. Bitcoiners are getting outperformed by cows. The cows are farting so hard that it's pushing them higher. Maybe crypto's just grazing right now. Watch Bitcoin stampede higher at the end of the year and early into next year, unless the markets collapse. Time will tell. Number 3, why is it that if you quit your job, your testosterone levels skyrocket? Low stress levels and better sleep keep your T-scores high. Maybe once AI does all the work, men will become masculine again. The most shocking thing is that farmers have the lowest levels. Probably from the stress of worrying about the weather, and all it takes is 1 or 2 bad growing seasons and they lose everything. Or it could simply be because farmers are older than the general population. Moving on, envy is one hell of a drug. So is stupidity, with AOC saying that a person can't earn $1 billion. But technically she's not wrong if she means you can't earn it with labor. You can only earn it through investing in innovation. But what do you expect from a waitress aspiring to be the next president? This is my favorite quote from her. The John F. Kennedy here thinks that she's the reason there are directions on a shampoo bottle. AOC are not supposed to drink it again. Number 5, what do you call these goth chicks? How about the graveyard, because that's where they hang out? The one in the middle looks Asian, so should we call her a Tokyo ghoul? How about maybe calling them the monochromatic madams? One thing's for sure though, the one in the top right doesn't look like a goth chick at all. She's just peeking into the picture so she can try and steal some of that attention and mojo for herself. Up next, what the hell happened to Brendan Fraser? I guess that's what happens to you when you're groped by Harvey Weinstein and get depressed about it. He's getting ready to film The Mummy 4 with tons of training and workouts. Can he really pull off going from Link to Mr. Potato Head and back? I hope he fixes his hair as well. I just see a lot of pain in those eyes. Maybe there'll be an Encino Man Part 2 coming out as well. Looks like Benny won in the end. Number 7, why is this the average girl you'll meet on a hike and never see again? And you know she's probably going to use you to get a photo like this for her dating profile, even though she's now living rent-free in your head. If this is the average girl you see on your hike, let me know where you live, because I'd like to be there too. Unfortunately, I've been bamboozled because it looks like she's AI generated. I saw a girl like this while hiking alone on Red Rock Canyon in Vegas back in 2016. I guess I should have said hello. Moving on, Meta has taken end-to-end encryption off of Instagram. To be honest, I didn't even know it was there in the first place. I just figured that Instagram was a low priority for security because it's just models trying to sell people overpriced products and tchotchkes, as well as pictures of people when they go clubbing. Meta is no longer pursuing privacy initiatives, and looks like it's just giving away your personal information again to the highest government bidder. Number 9, here's a picture of everything that Muslims hate. Not everything. This needs some bacon, although there might be some bacon bits in there. A menorah behind her and a black dog would also do the trick. They also really hate it that she's married to someone who's not her cousin. I almost forgot, here's a holy Bible just to aggravate them further. And the final thing to piss them off is that she's too old for them. Up next is the AI bubble about to burst. Who knows? But we do know that AI now makes up 40% of the stock market valuation. That's almost as big as the tech bubble, but still nowhere near the levels of the railroads. If you think you're in a bubble, then you're probably not in one. I would also be cautious going forward and maybe put some dry powder on the side, just in case things turn bad and there's some great deals to be had. Not financial advice. Number 11, and speaking of the old .com days, every kid dreamed of a setup like this back then. This is back when the internet and game concepts were cemented, but it took at least 2 decades for the graphics to catch up to our expectations. At that time I had a 21-inch screen and not this peewee size one, and my DOM matrix printer with a color ribbon. You could also use those speakers as a weapon if you were stuck in a pinch. Moving on, if your girlfriend left this on your car seat, what would you do? How about sending her the cleaning bill and a lifetime supply of tampons if it came from number 1? If it's number 2, which it's hard to tell because of the color of that car seat, I'd buy her a one-way ticket to India, because she'd feel at home over there. If I really wanted to be a stinker, no pun intended, then I'd wipe my seat with her fake expensive purse. I bet she'd love that. Number 13, what would you do if you found this in your basement? I'd have to get my old computer with the floppy drive out of storage and get to playing this classic game. I'd look around in the basement for a copy of Space Quest as well, because you know they used to roll together. But if I do play Leisure Suit Larry, I'd have to remember that the password is Ken sent me. I think that's to get into the prostitute's place. Up next, this unmarried billionaire left $11 billion in cash to his gardener and $5.9 million in properties. I'm not so sure that he was just his former gardener. He was probably trimming his other bush and manscaping, if you know what I mean. Looks like the pool boy got shafted in this deal. Or maybe he didn't, if you also know what I mean. I think this gardener story checks out because here's a picture of Freddie Mercury with all his former gardeners. Number 15, remember back in the 90s when there were some good-looking people in movies. Yes, and we took it for granted back then. In this case, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. The irony is this film is a satire about fascism that went over everybody's head. The whole Paul Verhoeven sci-fi trilogy is absolutely fantastic. Today, on the other hand, it has Zendaya in it for some reason and some random white gay guy. But where's Pedro Pascal and that potato? Moving on, people are so gullible. They see a mouse trap, bear trap, and Venus flytrap and wonder how critters can be so stupid to fall for them. Meanwhile, they end up falling for a stock market bull trap. Are we in one right now, or is the AI bubble, housing bubble, and commodity bubble about to burst, or are we in a new paradigm? People always say it's different this time, but they usually weren't around to remember the previous times. The only way to get that free money is to stay invested over the very long period of time. Number 17, experts say that people born between 1985 and 1995 look younger than Gen Z. Of course, because after a pandemic, AI taking their jobs in future, why wouldn't Gen Z look older and stressed out? Another strange phenomenon is older people in the last 2 generations believing that they look younger because they wear the same fashion as younger people. Just because you wear a backwards baseball cap and ride a skateboard doesn't mean you still look 21. Up next, Canada finally scores a win as Air India says that it has to cut the number of flights to Canada because of rising fuel costs. Meanwhile, the Canadian government recently spent $2.5 million to buy up a motel to house illegals. That's literally bailing out the mostly Indian-owned motel industry with taxpayer dollars. I wouldn't be surprised if Canada provided Air India subsidy to keep the flights a-comin'. Number 19, remember guys that women and men are not the same. This guy raped and ended over 40 women, and he got married to his biggest fan in the middle of his court proceedings. There were also hundreds of women showing up to the courtroom to show their love for him. He received letters, money, and nude photos from women all over the world. Ted Bundy also got his wife pregnant while he was on death row. Rose Bundy, his daughter, changed her name and is now living a good life somewhere out there. Moving on, this ex-Dallas Cowboys cheerleader was arrested for hiring a marching band to follow around her ex-boyfriend to work for 9 straight days. What in the severance is this? She's gorgeous, but remember that for every hot woman out there, there's at least one guy who's tired of her shits. What's the charge? Contributing to the delinquency of a marching band. It's a fake story, but regardless, this is the level of trolling I aspire to reach one day. Number 21 and the last one, would this be the adequate level of comfort for a man to live in? For me, yes, so long as the weather outside is at least 73 degrees Fahrenheit or 23 degrees Celsius. I'm also doubting the validity of this image because the bed looks too short and he puts a glass door on the bathroom. I guess they want to see the guests poop. I could do without the couch and the television as well. I just need a proper kitchen instead. I'd also replace the sofa with a big computer desk. Up next, everyone should read this book because it shows you just how much the millionaires around you live in modest homes and drive used cars. How do you think they saved up $1 million in the first place? The trick is to live within your means and invest well. People will say there's no point in being wealthy if you can't enjoy it. I beg to differ. Just the knowledge of having that wealth will take a ton of anxiety away. That is the point. Number 23, I've been beating the drum on this for over a decade. That she's not your girl and it's just your turn. That's because studies show that 50% of women in committed relationships have a backup partner. I don't doubt the validity of this study. In fact, I don't even believe there's a study. It's just common sense. I think that number's a lot higher with women keeping their ex-boyfriend's contact number while being surrounded by orbiters that she claims are just her friends. Moving on, people are saying it's wild how Anne Hathaway's face looks so young. Meanwhile, Garda Journal might have messed up with this photo because it clearly shows how obvious her facelift was. Her lips and nose are still the same. It just looks like the eyebrow and eye have been pulled back to get rid of some of those crow's feet. Still, this is tastefully done considering all the women out there are bimbifying themselves with double D's and sausage lips. Number 25 in the last one, I thought this story was fake, but it's true. Rachel Dolezal, the former NAACP president in Spokane, Washington, who once identified as black and is now an OnlyFans creator, has been diagnosed with skin cancer due to her excessive tanning. She also lost her job because of her OF accounts. If this isn't karma, then I don't know what is. She was ratted out by her parents for being white and pretending to be black because she was falsely accusing her own brother of rape. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoy this series and want me to keep making it, then donate at the PayPal Subscribe Star links. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.